angry.
What?
When people say stuff like, girls are gentle, girls are sweet, girls are emotional and weak, girls don't play sports, girls don't play games.
Oh, what about boys will be boys or boys don't cry? And hey, don't get your dress dirty. Oh, Rad, people don't like bossy girls. Oh, wait.
What?
One more. He only teases you because he likes you.
Stereotypes are the worst. It's so gross. I mean, like, you can't make assumptions about someone before you get to know them, right? When I was in school, people used to say stuff like, oh, you must be really smart because you're Asian. And, like, I am really smart, but it's not because my parents are from Singapore. It's just because I worked really hard.
Dude, that makes me so mad. I mean, that's how prejudice happens.
Right? I wish that I could go back and talk to my 12-year-old self and, like, give her all this advice on how to deal with that.
Yes, dude. Imagine how good it would be if we could go back, talk to our 12-year-old selves and tell them all the amazing stuff that we know now.
It would be super awesome.
Yeah, tell us everything.
All right, Mini Pip and Mini Rad, listen up, because we're about to arm you with all the knowledge that you need to actively look after yourselves and others.
Yeah, we're going to show you how to change the world. But first, you should know what prejudice is.
Oh, I know that. Prejudice is assuming someone or something is lesser because of their membership to a certain group. So it's like thinking one group of people is superior than another.
See? Told you I was smart.
So how do stereotypes and prejudice link up?
Okay, excellent question, Mini Pip, and I'm going to give you guys an example. So, to say that someone presents as a girl is okay because that's the group that they fall into. To say that all girls love pink, well, that's a stereotype. And to say that girls don't have any interest in things like science because girls only like pretty things, well, that's prejudice. Got it?
Got it.
Excellent work. Prejudice affects girls everywhere, all over the world. There are endless examples of girls being talked over, objectified, ignored, shamed, silenced, but girls are strong. And when we take action, we're unstoppable.
Yeah, like this.
Sometimes life is frustrating and you don't know what to do. You know you need to make a change for yourself and for others too. Well, activism is standing up for what you think is true. And that person taking action could be you.
What, so activism is campaigning for what you believe in?
Yeah! Speaking up, speaking out, trying to spread the word. If you're feeling angry, then it's your right for your voice to be heard. You could write a letter, you could start a club, you could even sing a song. Taking steps to make it right if you think it's wrong.
So all you need is a catchy tune and clever lyrics?
You need activism. Activism is about speaking up for what you think is right and striving to make the world a better place for everyone. And it's actually not as hard as you might think.
Yeah, every day and in lots of different ways, girls challenge stereotypes and fight prejudice. And sometimes we're doing it on purpose, but sometimes we don't even realise we're doing it at all.
Wow, girls are awesome.
I know, right? And it's no wonder we're upset, disappointed and angry about stereotypes and prejudice.
Yeah, I mean, just look at what's gotten some of these girls riled up.
I don't like hearing that girls can't do what boys can do.
I don't like it when people tell me that I can't run or I can't jump or I can't ride my bike because I'm a girl. Because, like, I do tricks on my bike and I do gymnastics and climb stuff.
I'm sick of hearing people say that that's a girl toy and that's a boy toy. Like, you can't buy this because it's for boys, or you can't buy this because it's not right for you, which is really annoying.
People always underestimate you. When you do something like what they don't expect you, they go like, really, a girl could do that? Well, couldn't anyone do that?
I don't like it when people think that we've got to wear makeup and tutus and dance around, because that's not what it's like at all.
I don't like hearing you can't play this because you're a girl.
Some gender stereotypes I don't like that I've heard are girls can't play footy, girls can't like the colour blue, stuff like that.
People should dress however they like and not how other people want.
When I hear gender stereotypes, it makes me feel so, like, angry.
I can create things, I can make video games, I can be an engineer, but some people think that girls can't, which is very sad for me.
I feel frustrated and annoyed because we can be whatever we want to be.
When I hear things like that, it makes me feel annoyed that people think that because they're just making assumptions about other people's lives that aren't true.
Just remember, it isn't fair to take your anger out on people around you for no reason. And don't let your anger negatively affect you or your mood either. You know, be angry, but be safe about it.
So taking your anger and doing something with it is a good thing?
Yeah, anger can be good and useful as you can use it to motivate and energize yourself and start making positive changes.
Oh, so you can use your emotions to create change.
Oh, absolutely. Like this. Name it! Work out what's making you angry. If it's an issue of injustice, inequality, unfairness, or something that you believe is wrong, sit with those feelings and reflect on them.
Educate yourself about the issue, learn everything you can about it, and then write down your feelings and think about how you can start making some changes. Reflect on it. It's also really good to reflect on stereotypes and prejudice that you may have towards other people or yourself that you never thought you had before.
Do you treat people who live different lives and have different experiences to you with respect? Do you have any beliefs about them that may be unfair? This kind of reflection can be revolutionary.
Feel it.
A good way to process anger is by harnessing it and turning it into something productive. Anger isn't productive by itself, but if you acknowledge that you're angry and you turn it into action, then it can really inspire you to do something. Just leaving anger alone and not doing anything constructive with it can be really destructive. Do it!
There are lots of different ways that people can take action against something that they think is wrong. And these actions can be big or small. It can take as much bravery to lead a march down a street as it can for standing up for someone in a conversation with your mates.
An act of activism can be choosing to participate in activities like volunteering, educating people, or a march. But it can also be choosing not to participate in activities, such as walking away from a conversation where people are saying really nasty things about someone else. These kinds of conversations are not okay, and you can just walk away from them, or challenge them. So you see, anger by itself isn't productive. But if you can acknowledge that you're angry and turn that anger into action, then it can be really helpful, and it can inspire you to do something.
Awesome! Yeah, and if you want to see some amazing real-life examples of this in action, well, check out these awesome girls.
So my activism involves pretty much everything that encompasses being an Indigenous young woman. My objective is to end the systematic and cultural oppression of Indigenous peoples. The main area that I'm focused on is education.
I'm 10 and I have cerebral palsy, and I'm involved in making kids with disabilities being included in advertising, catalogues and TV shows.
We're from the Fitzroy Feminist Collective, and our aim is to bring people together to talk about feminist issues and to educate and make change in our school and our community.
We're youth activist leaders for Plan International Australia, so our role is sort of getting, young people involved in activities to progress towards gender equality.
Being an activist is just trying to change something that you think is wrong.
I was looking through catalogues and I said to Mum, why aren't there any kids with disabilities? And I wanted to change that straight away. Even if you have a disability, doesn't mean you can't do something, or doesn't mean you're not beautiful.
The thing that kind of sparked it all, I think, was me speaking at the Invasion Day rally. And that was a huge rally in Melbourne's CBD, which was based around the principle of Australia Day and whether we should have it or not have it. It was the first time I've ever spoken at a rally, and I think it was 20,000 people. I don't want to big note myself, but it was a really large crowd, and so I got up there and I spoke, and a lot of people heard me, and I think something listening to your political cause is something that people don't realise how important it is sometimes. And so just having all these people that were willing to listen on that day is kind of what sparked it, and it kind of made me realise that my voice is important as an activist.
Our projects are mainly sourced from talking about our experiences and some of the things we go through on a daily basis. That's what starts our projects, because we actually want to make a difference,
Just teaching kids from a young age to treat each other with respect and to stop using marginalising language that can potentially lead to other very harmful acts against women.
I wanted to be with a group of people who felt the same way and were willing to put in the effort to make a change.
other kids with disabilities out there get to see someone with a disability and they feel happy because now disability is being included.
I think a lot of people say, well, you're young, like, what would you know? You know, you're just in school, but your experiences are valid. My anger is important. My anger is my voice. You know, it's because something is wrong. It's because we need to change something. Channeling that anger into actually making change and using that as your passion and your drive to get through makes us good activists as well.
I guess what makes you angry tells you a lot about what you really care about.
Yeah, for sure. And the activism that comes from that anger can show that we care about other people in the world and not just ourselves.
Okay, but what if we do that and people get mad at us for it? One of my friends from school was talking about sexism, and a boy told her to go back to the kitchen and make him a sandwich, and everyone laughed.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Well, sometimes when you call people out, it can be really embarrassing for them. And sometimes they don't even realize that they're doing something wrong. So it's natural to feel defensive, and they may try and hurt you to defend themselves.
And I feel like when you're a girl, it's kind of tougher to call people out because sometimes people just don't expect it.
You mean because some people think we should be agreeable and likable?
Exactly. And the thing is, when someone's embarrassed about being called out, they can often retaliate in ways that are pretty unfair. For example, they might try and make a girl feel small and insignificant, or maybe make fun of her for having a strong opinion.
Yeah, they may call you names or say that girls don't know what they're talking about or say that you're being unladylike. But really, these are just ways to try and silence girls and discourage them from speaking up, so don't fall for it.
You know, I remember when I was at school and I would worry about speaking up because I felt like maybe people wouldn't like me or make me feel like an outcast.
Well, that sucks. Why do people even do that?
Ah, it might have something to do with a little thing called privilege.
What's this? It's the privilege bridge. What's that? It's a metaphor for explaining how some people have advantages and opportunities granted to them just because how they were born. Whoa, that's a lot to take in. I know. So let's begin. Here are two people trying to cross this stream. It's a raging rapid called the River of Dreams. Okay, so how did they get across? Good question. Let's start with Ross. Ross is a male and he's straight and wealthy. He's in his mid-40s and he's rather healthy. He's white and was born in a peaceful nation, so Ross gets to use teleportation. Whoa, that was super easy. Yup, now let's take a look at Stevie. Stevie is a refugee. Born in a country that she had to flee. She doesn't speak English and she's not well off, so Stevie has to swim and now she's got a cough. But wait, I mean, that's not fair. How come Ross got a free ride there? Privilege. He was born with advantage, unearned gifts that his life was granted. He might not even think about his inbuilt perks, but that's just the way that privilege works.
Okay, so privilege is a social power. And of course, the stories of Stevie and Ross are extreme examples, but you guys get the idea.
Oh, I never even thought of that before.
Light bulb moment. Sometimes when people say nasty things, it's out of fear and ignorance. It's not always easy, but there are some things you can try if people are trying to silence you or shut you down.
Question it. A good way to talk about this is to ask them questions. So, Rat, if someone says something sexist to you, you can respond like this. I don't understand. Can you explain why you think that?
Or, do you really think that girls deserve to be treated worse than boys?
Why don't you want to talk about this?
Why does it make you feel uncomfortable?
It's fine if you disagree with my opinion, but don't you think I have a right to be heard?
These kinds of questions can point out the injustice in what they're saying and throws the ball back in their court to try and explain themselves, and it might make them think more about what they're saying. Say it! Share your perspective and educate people. When discussing things with them, make sure you only ever challenge their argument, not them personally. Be sensitive and respectful when you speak. Do not taunt or abuse people.
Don't tolerate it. Let them finish talking and then state very clearly, I'm entitled to my own opinion, and whether or not you agree with it, I have a right to be heard.
Or you can say, you can disagree with me on the basis of my argument, but if you're going to be rude to me, I don't have to stand for that.
Ignore it.
Make sure you feel safe. You don't always have to say something back. Sometimes it may be too hard, and sometimes you may not feel safe doing so. That's totally okay.
Ignore it and walk away, because sometimes it's not even worth bothering to respond to.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, I can definitely try some of those the next time someone tells me to go back to the kitchen.
Excellent. So to make change, you need to speak out against prejudice.
Yeah, and you can be creative with your activism, like these awesome girls.
Girls Rock Canberra is a program that lets young girls play instruments and form bands and write songs, and it's great. Music is a really great creative outlet for emotions such as, you know, just like anger about things that could be happening in the world or personal things or politicians, like anything like that. It's a great way to share your message.
We've been learning a lot about how to play our instruments and a lot about body positivity and girl empowerment and how to work together and stuff like that. It's been really awesome.
I guess particularly for girls and for women, especially in the music industry, actually, it can be very hard to get noticed and to be thought of as being a proper musician. That's what things like Girls Rock Canberra are doing.
This week I learned how to play drums, and it has been the most awesome experience of my life. And along with like learning things about being on stage and being in a band and stuff, it was good.
Damn, we are cute. The way we express our activism is through slam poetry. Basically, what slam poetry is, you perform a poem in front of an audience about something that you feel passionate about. Because we're like visibly Muslim and Arab women, often we're not taken seriously whenever we talk about things that we feel passionate about. And I think that really frustrates us, and for me, it angers me. So that's why I would turn to slam poetry. They ask me where I'm from, and I tell them that I am fully sick. What they don't know is that I am also fully sick and tired of people seeing this hijab, this melanin, this name. I tell them where I'm from, but all I get in response is hipsters trying to claim my tabuni. The reason why activism is important to us is because if we're not going to stand up, other people are going to stand up for us, and it's been done in the past, and we're honestly tired of people speaking over us or for us, around us, and not to us.
I channel anything that I feel into slam poetry, whether it's frustration, anger, happiness, sadness. It just all gets channeled. All of the energy just goes to slam poetry. Showing people my perspective of things really gets my voice heard.
What about those who have made a change?
Wow, these girls are super talented.
They sure are. Super talented and super expressive.
Yeah, and you can express your activism in so many different ways, like through music, art, speeches, rallies, protests, and volunteering.
These expressions can be quiet, loud, angry, passionate, creative. You do you.
And there have been so many different reasons why people have gotten involved in activism throughout history. Because they care about things like social justice and human rights, civil rights, Indigenous rights, women's rights, animal rights, and of course, environmental issues.
Activism is exactly what it sounds like. It's acting on your feelings, acting to try and change the world.
So what's the best way for us to help others?
Well, I think we can take a look at what the experts have to say on this one.
When you see something, call it out. When you know something's wrong, don't doubt yourself.
We also need to take a step back and realise that there are other more oppressed groups than us that need to have a voice and stand up.
You have to realise there's a very fine line between being an activist and helping my struggle and talking over us. There's a very fine line between that. And so if I have any kind of advice about, how to avoid that, it's probably just to sit down, shut up and listen.
A great way to be an ally is to understand and just do your very best to understand the struggles of people who don't have the same privilege as you.
With intersectional feminism, we look at the intersections of oppression. So basically, not just gender, but class, race, religion, sexuality. We look at the intersections of oppression and we fight for them all together. For example, with us, we're not only women, but we're also Arab, Muslim, living in a low socioeconomic area, so not a typically wealthy area.
I have white privilege, so I don't face racism, I don't face a lot of things that other women face, and I need to understand the privilege that I have.
If you're going to be fighting for one cause, you should be fighting for all the things that entwine with that, because that's the bigger picture.
Don't be afraid to show who you really are and give your opinion. Your voice is really important.
Yeah.
One person's thoughts can change the world. That was so deep, man. Wow.
All right, Mini Rad, Mini Pip, do you guys feel more prepared now?
Yep.
What's the most important stuff you learned?
I think we should do the awesome thing you guys do.
Know who you are. Think about what's important to you and why. Believe in yourself and what you feel is right. Solidarity, sister! Make sure you have a strong network. This could be friends at school, an online community, a supportive family, you know, like-minded people who feel the same way as you. Get together and discuss things with your friends. Someone having your back and supporting you will make you feel much stronger about speaking up. Encourage and support other girls to speak up too. Yeah, and remember, there is strength in numbers. Listen and learn. Listen to people and their experiences. It might help to understand what they're thinking or feeling if you step into their shoes. Read and learn more about the world. Knowledge is a form of empowerment and personal strength. Be prepared to learn and be open to making mistakes and forgiving others for theirs. And make sure you're aware of your privilege, share your privileges and work together. Use your voice! Think about why it's important for you to say these things. If something feels wrong with every fibre in your body, then you owe it to yourself to claim your voice. Sometimes it can be hard, but that should never stop you from doing what's right. It will come with challenges, but that's okay. Celebrate difference and stand up for others. Keep it up! If you don't do it, who will? Nothing changes without the people who change it. So get in and get it done. Don't be disheartened. You may have far more losses than wins, but those wins are important and they matter. Stay hopeful.
Excellent work, girls.
Yeah, I'm super impressed.
Thanks!
Just remember, girls are a lot of things. We're brave, smart, strong, funny, kind, creative, adventurous, amazing.
We're happy, angry, quiet, loud, talented, active, passionate, and caring. We have different cultures, religions, perspectives, and experiences.
Yeah, we have just as much a right to a voice, an opinion, to be respected and be listened to as anybody else.
Yeah, we can create change and we can control our own futures. So many amazing women and girls have come before us and they've achieved so much. But there's still more to be done, and we're the ones to do it. And so you should look for a positive role model in your life because they can really inspire a difference in you.
Yeah, we can help each other. We can listen to each other's experiences and stories, and we can be aware of the privilege and power that we experience and try and help those that may not have the same privilege and power.
We can make things fair and we can make things right. And we can take action, whether or not that's big or small, by ourselves, with our friends and family, or a community. One girl at a time, we can change the world.
So go on, get out there, go back into the world.
And change it!
Will do.
Yeah, thanks for everything.
I think it was glittery, fun, hardworking, and awesome.
My advice to other girls is that if people put you down, get back up and keep on going. Stay strong and don't let anyone get you down.
Because it doesn't matter what people think of you, you are who you are.
Don't be discouraged just because there aren't any other girls doing it. You have a right to do whatever you want.
The best thing about being a girl, I think, is having incredible role models to look up to.
The best thing about being a girl is having the opportunities that girls haven't had in the past.
I think being a girl means to be powerful and strong and just being yourself, like not caring what anyone else thinks and not going like with the stereotypes.
You can do amazing things and you can be amazing.
I think that girls are really strong when they stick together.
We work together, we communicate really well, and I wouldn't change being a girl for the world because I love it.
We're all in this together and we're all superheroes.
Be yourself and not worry about what other people say, and if you want to do something, then you can do it.
Girls can go places, don't be afraid. Like, we can do stuff. We can't just let boys take all the camera and the fame, because we can do it.
Being a girl is awesome because we are all unique and we want to achieve different goals.
Just be yourself, not what other people want you to be. Always believe in yourself. You can do whatever you want. Girls are amazing and they can do anything.
So how do you feel after that? I'm so prepared. How about you?
Same. I'm ready for action.
Oh no! What's wrong?
I forgot to ask if getting the nose ring will hurt.
Nah, you'll be fine. You've got plenty of time to think about that. I mean, you're 12 and Pip got it when she was 21.
Yeah, you're right. That's like a million years from now.